I'm at my most creative when I'm stressed. So it's like life can never really be too good for me, because if it is, then my art is gonna suffer.
Why argue over who's better regarding the lyrics? Who's ever harder ain't living or possibly sniffing? I'm obviously sick of you, gotta be tripping. A's hotter. If you listen, you probably dig them.
I used to draw when I was a kid. When I was younger, I used to draw. I was heavy in the comic books, still in. And I would draw, like I would trace over the characters. And then I started to get into like my own kind of art. I was really a fan of Darkwing Duck. So I started drawing like duck people. So that was like my first, my first piece of art right there. Like I used to paint and shit with my pops, and draw. I made a couple comic books, my own characters and everything, and that was like the birth of me and art. I think it's just a fun hobby, like collecting comics and just not having to deal with the real world, so I go into this whole fantasy world. That's really what comics are for me. It's like a getaway, from everything that's going on in the actual world. You get to see superpowered guys, and I think everybody secretly dreams to be a superhero. I know I would like to be a superhero if I could, but I don't have any superpowers, so it sucks for me. It's easier for me to articulate myself when I write it down than it is for me when I actually have a conversation with somebody. I've always been a loner, I guess. I would always stay to myself and just focus on my art and me and thinking about different things. So it was easier, it's easier for me to have a conversation with you, weirdly enough, if I just had it in my head, if I didn't have to speak to you. It's easy for me to articulate myself that way. So writing is like an extension of that. Like I put it down on paper, and it's everything that I wanted to say that I couldn't say. That is a very good way of letting out tension. It's a very good way of letting out tension. There are days where I've literally been pissed off, and I would go home and I would grab my board and just ride, and I feel kind of free. Like I just started skateboarding, so it's an interesting feeling. Like interesting. I never would have thought that you can feel so free by just skateboarding. You're feeling the wind, the cars are passing you by. Everyone looks at you because they're like, "There's a black guy with a skateboard." Secretly, I always wanted to do it, but I was just too scared to do it. And one day I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy a board. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it." And the whole thing, like with me, if I think about something for too long, I'm not gonna do it. So I just said, you know what? I just got up, I went to the store, I bought a board. It was like a $20 board, broke instantly. I was tight. So that weekend I went to the city, to the Blades NYC, and I bought an official board. And I just started riding, bust my ass a whole bunch of times, got hurt a whole bunch of times, but I don't care, it didn't stop me. So, it was just something that I think I secretly always wanted to do, but was just too scared, and I finally got the courage to do it. Fear. Society puts so many rules on you, and they, if you have too many piercings, if you have too many tattoos, if you wear makeup or whatever, like you wear eyeliner and you're like a guy or whatever, there's just certain things that, society says you're not supposed to do. So because you might want to fit in, you don't want to be looked upon as weird, as an outsider, you kind of just go with the flow and you do what everyone else is doing. Like, there might be a trend where it's cool to wear baggy pants. Like, for example, I had a friend, when it was cool to wear baggy pants, everyone's wearing it. My friend, he would wear fitted jeans. Like, that was his thing. It wasn't, he didn't do it because he thought it was cool, he did it because he was comfortable. Everybody made fun of him. 10 years later, everyone's wearing fitted clothing. And he fits right in. And he's laughing at everyone because it's just like you guys are followers, you're not being yourselves, you know? So I definitely think fear of what others think stops a lot of people from doing a lot of things. Try different things. Like, people usually have a certain routine throughout the day. They go to work, go home, they do this, they do that. Mix up your routine. Try something new. Go to the museum. Go to a skating rink. Do something. Learn how to fly a plane. Learn how to speak another language. Do something different in your life. You know? Like that. I think it's really that simple. It might not seem that simple because it isn't, because human beings make it complex, but it really is simple. Get up and go do it. If you don't like it, try something else, you know? Go to a rave. I never thought that I would like mosh pits. I love mosh pits. Love it. And I'm not even like, I don't even like being that close to people. When it comes to, like, the music is playing and you just get that vibe and it's like, yo, let's just bug out, you know? So try something new. You never know what you're gonna like if you've never tried it. So now, if nothing comes, it won't come. I'll go do something else. And while I'm doing something else, something will just pop in my head.